Hey there, I'm Jamey from Stillmeyer Games as usual, and I'm here for games rounds 1 and 2 of Rolling Realms, game 89. Round 1 and 2, I see Chad is joining me. Chad will probably know what I'm referencing here. Yesterday, I was in a playtest that went long, and I intended to join the live play. I even scheduled a little bit later because I had this playtest, but and Garrett has a question that I'll answer in a second. But not only did the playtest go way past the time that I was going to record this, but I also didn't even realize, because I kind of missed my calendar reminder too, and my mind was very much on this playtest. I didn't realize until late at night that I completely missed the live play. So today we're going to do back-to-back rounds 1 and 2. And as Garrett asked here, did the DHL package arrive in time? Garrett, the DHL package arrived... No, it didn't arrive in time, technically, but it arrived right at the end of the playtest as we were kind of like cleaning up and talking about it. So it arrived in time for me to talk about it with everyone, but not to play with, unfortunately. But yeah, it could have been worse. So, yeah, so here we are, game 1. We have the Red Rising realm called the Society for trademark reasons. We have the Guild of Merchant Explorers and Skulk Hollow. And let's dive right in and start playing this game that I should have played yesterday. As usual, feel free to hang out. You can ask me anything. You can ask me questions about these. We can talk about anything you want in the comments. And I'll be here a little bit longer than normal because we're playing 2 rounds in a row back to back. I figured I'd just put them in one video rather than starting a new video after this one. All right, a 2 and a 3. A 2 and a 3. It's been a while since I played Red Rising. What do we want? We want low numbers on the top, big numbers in the bottom. Yeah, each number must be lower than the number directly above. Is that right? No, we want we want low numbers in the bottom, big numbers on the top, because in the society you build up to these higher society people. Oh, Chad says that Owen turns 4 tomorrow. Happy birthday to Owen, Chad. That's exciting. So a 2 or 3 could go in this middle row maybe, and I could put 1s down here. Ideally, I want to finish this row early, though. Guild of Merchant Explorers, a lot of flexibility. The 3s will give me at least 2 hexes, so I'll probably do that. And then if I want to use the 2 in Skulk Hollow, I want to have a heart. So let's see if I can get a heart out of this one. I can do 2 adjacent hexes. Why don't I do that? I'll go here and here. I think I always mess up something in Guild of Merchant Explorers, the realm. I think this is right. I'm using the 3 to do 2 adjacent hexes. They can be anything. And the star hexes match all colors. Those are wild. That's right. That's the thing that I always mess up. But I did get a heart. And so I can use the 2 over here and spend that heart to get a coin and a star. There's a push your luck element for Skulk Hollow. And that gives me a coin. And I can use that coin as a 1 in the society in the not ideal row to put it, but it is there. Corell is joining us today. He has a big IT issue, but he's going to put this in the background and feel like he's playing. Absolutely, Corell, always. 1 and a 6. 1 and a 6. Well, I do like the 6s in the society, so I can finish off that top row. The 6 is nice because I can get a lot of hexes in Guild of Merchant Explorers. Skulk Hollow. So what I'm worried about here is rolling a pair. That's the thing you're worried about in Skulk Hollow. Well, I need some resources if I'm going to do anything in Skulk Hollow. And Skulk Hollow is kind of nice. You don't have to do everything every turn in here. You can push your luck and choose not to do anything. And I might need to do that because I will need to use I'll need to use every turn in the society and probably almost every turn in Guild. Oh, and we'll score for marked stars in Guild over here. Why don't I use this? I'll use the 6 in Guild. Since I've already started doing 1s over here, I'll put the 1 right there. We'll use the 6 for 3 adjacent. They don't have to be in a row. They just have to be adjacent to one another. Beta Y says, what is this game? It's in the title. It's Rolling Realms. This is Rolling Realms. It's a random combination of 3 realms, 3 mini games that I'm playing using shared dice roll. And anyone can play along. If you have these realms now or in the future, you can play along with me using these dice that I'm rolling. Okay, I can spread out from the central city or from hexes that I've already crossed off. Where do I want to go? Actually, this line up here is really, really nice. So why don't I go up here or right there? That's nice too. I'll go 1, 2, 3 for a heart and a coin and a star. Heart, coin, and star. So I could use the coin over here, but I don't have a pumpkin. No, I could use I actually could do that. Well, no, not this turn. I'll have to wait for a future turn. Okay, turn 3. A 4 and a 6. 4 and a 6. Well. I could use the 6 over here in guild. 4 is good for the middle row in the society. 4 wants a heart over in Skull Hollow. 6 wants a pumpkin. I do have that heart. So why don't I use the 4 here and this heart, and that will net me a star and a pumpkin. And then the 6. I'm inclined to use the 6 in guild again, use the coin over here in the society. So I'll do that. 6s. Oh, I misplayed that 6. That earlier 6, I needed to use a blue. Did anyone catch that? I needed to use that blue. So I will try to make up for that here a little bit. Maybe not optimize this move to make up for it. I will just go 1, 2, 3. So a non-optimized turn to make up for my earlier mistake with that 6. And then I have the 1 to use over here. I see some questions. Let me do a roll and then I'll answer those questions. 4 and a 3. No pairs so far, which is nice for Skull Hollow. Nicole says, I'm new to Rolling Realms and excited to play along. Awesome, Nicole. Welcome. We have played one time with our gaming group so far. Well, you're welcome to join now. You can join live or you can use this video later. And you can even play if you don't have all the exact realms. I have a realm from the original game, a promo realm, and then a realm. I believe this is from Rolling Realms Redux. But you don't have to use the same exact realms if you don't want to. You can always just use the same rolls. Chad says, did the playtest yesterday go well? The reason that I'm doing 2 rounds today, it did go really well. It was a rough pre-production copy, so we have a lot of user interface things to fix up. But the gameplay itself is fantastic. So that was great. Garrett says, have you considered designing an Inkborn realm? You know, Garrett, I hadn't thought of that, but I love that idea. And I could certainly use to give Inkborn a little love. Inkborn is a digital game that I was involved with as a consultant. Garrett, I'm going to make a note of that. I love that idea. Inkborn realm. Love it. 3 and a 4. Let's see if I can get another coin to turn into a 1 for the society. I can use 3 or a 4 here. A 3. I could use a 3 here. So yeah, I'll do that. 3. I think my pen is actually running out of ink as I play, and I don't have easy access to another one. I will get another star, another heart. That was the 3. I have the 4. We'll do the 4 over here. 4 can be any 2 adjacent. Actually, the 6 I did use legally. I did because I filled in any 3. They didn't have to be adjacent. So that's okay. There we go. There's a coin and a star. Stars are points, or stars are stars. And then I'll use this coin as a 1 down here to complete this row in the society to get 1 of each resource, among them 2 pumpkins. I'm pretty well protected in Skull Hollow as long as I don't roll a pair of a 1, a 5, or a 6 right now. 4 and a 6. Well, I could try to check off this 6 in Skull Hollow. In fact, why don't I do that right now? There's the 6. Here's a pumpkin. I'll gain a coin and another star. I'm ahead of schedule on Skull Hollow. And then I need a middle number here. So I'll put the 4 in the society. And then in guild, might have to do nothing this turn. That might be the play. I think I have time to get to those stars. Okay. A 3 and a 5. This is turn 6. 3 and a 5. Well, I need a 5 marked off here, and I have a coin, so I'll keep going with Skull Hollow. I have loss aversion. I don't want to miss out on anything in Skull Hollow, so I'll gain that. There we go. Final turn, I can do that 1. That'll work out. The 3 I can still use somewhere. 3 actually goes really well in the society, so I'm inclined to do that. That will leave me a little bit behind schedule in guild, but I have 3 pumpkins, so I could copy something. Let's put the 3 in the middle. I will copy Doesn't matter, a 3 or a 4. And I'll use it in Guild of Merchant Explorers. And let's try to go get a star. 2 adjacent. I'll do this one. Give me a pumpkin and a star. Pumpkin and a star. Okay. I had a question for you all. What was that question? I had a question that I wanted to ask. I'm blanking on it. Here's a 1 and a 3 on turn 7. I am blanking on what I wanted to ask you. Maybe it'll come to mind later. Edward says, I love every game I've played by your company so far. I love hearing that. It's also okay if you don't love every game, but I'm glad that you've enjoyed them so far. And great job creating and collaborating to achieve such successful board games. Thank you so much, Edward. That's a really nice thing for you to say. Yeah, thank you. That's very kind. 1 and a 3. Actually, a 3 fits well here in the society. So I'll do that, get 1 of every resource. The 1, I'm rolling well. I think this is going to help everyone who's playing along with these combination of realms. This is a good combination. I'll spend that coin. I use this one, a coin, to get a pumpkin and a star. I finished off Skulk Hollow, so I'm not even afraid of pairs anymore. Did that. Already used both numbers, and I have 3 more stars to get in Guild of Merchant Explorers. I might want to get a little bit closer to some of them. So why don't I use that 1 here to get a heart? I'll have to probably double up to make that work. But I have 2 more turns left. Let's see how it goes. And I simply cannot remember what I was going to ask you all. So maybe it'll come to me later. 2 and a 6 here. 6 is a good number for Guild of Merchant Explorers. I don't have to do anything else. Actually, 6 is good in both of these. I do need it in the society too. I'm going to run out of time. Well, I need the 6 in the society. So I'm going to put the 6 here. I cannot copy that 6 because I only have 2 hearts. But I can take that 2 and maybe turn it into a 3 to extend my range a little bit. I'll use pumpkins to do that. And that will get me here to that star. That works okay. Yeah, I think that's the best I can do right there. Final roll. It'll come down to this a little bit. I need another. I need a 5 or a 6. A pair of 6s. Wow, so we did finally roll a pair, but I'm protected in Skulk Hollow. So a pair of 6s. That actually has a lot of potential. So let me start here. I'll put the 6 there. That gives me all the stars from the society and a heart and a coin. I can use the first 6. I need to get a pumpkin out of it. So the first 6. Yeah, okay, stars are wild. This might actually happen. I'll use the 6 to go here, here, and here. Again, they don't have to be adjacent. One of them is wild. I've used all 3. That gives me a pumpkin and a star. And now I can use 3 pumpkins and 3 hearts to copy the 6 and reuse it in a realm that I've already activated this round to get, yeah, I can do it again. 1, 2, 3 to get that other star. A perfect round plus some extra resources left over. That's 18.2 in the first round. Not bad. I take a short momentary break. Let me see if I can remember what I wanted to talk about, or what I wanted to ask. I doubt I'm going to remember. Yeah, I have no idea. It was a fun question. Anyway, we'll move forward and see how this goes. Hopefully, let me know in the comments what your score for round 1 was compared to my 18.2. Good game to you too, Chad. And now, let's wipe all this clean and move on to game 2. We're jumping right in. Normally, I don't do these back to back, but I missed yesterday. I guess I could play on Saturday and bump it back a bit. But Edward says this game seems fun too, but confusing since I don't know the rules. Yeah, Edward, I can talk through the rules a little bit more in round 2. I'm sorry about that. I'm rolling 2 dice, and everyone's going to use those 2 dice. 1 die or 1 number per realm. And each realm has its own little mini game where the rules are explained on the realm itself. There is a solo play option. There's a solo mode. And there's also, you can just play solo like I'm doing. And there are, as you can tell, 89 games recorded on YouTube where you can go back and play. So even if you only have the core game, the first 20 or so games of Rolling Realms, I believe, are just me playing with the core realms or the original realm. So you don't even need any promo realms to do that. Okay, let's make this complicated and jump in with 3 new realms. Libertalia, Honorim, and Rock, Paper, Scissors. Again, this is I guess, no, there are 2 promo realms and 1 from Rolling Realms Redux. And I will explain these as I go. The starting roll of a 4 and a 5. 4 and a 5. So, Edward and anyone else who's wanting to learn how to go. Oh, Nicole got 15.2. Nice, Nicole. Thanks for playing along there. 4 and a 5. So I need to use one of these numbers. Or I don't need to, but ideally I would use one of these numbers in one realm and then another number in another realm. I can't double up unless I use some of these abilities. You earn resources and you spend those resources to manipulate the dice and copy them and things like that. Where should we start? Well, let's start with Honorim maybe. So we'll fill the row left to right. We're filling this row. Adjacent symbols must differ. Okay, so I'm using a die and marking that symbol. So let's just start off and use a 5. I'll use a key, or keys can actually go down here. Or I can use a key to trigger a prophecy. If the dice rolled on the next turn have a sum of 6 or higher, I get to cross off a nightmare, which gives me stars. I don't know if I need that really early. I don't need stars. I'd rather get some resources early on. So I will use the 4 as the moon. Put that moon right here. That's using the 4 as the symbol. And do I get any rewards? Every 3 steps, I get some rewards from this. Lori says, I don't know how to play either. Looks interesting. Thanks, Lori. Yeah, this is, it's tough for me to fully teach on the fly, but it isn't a particularly complex game. I'm rolling dice. You're using these numbers to activate the different mini games that we have here. And the variety of the game comes from the really wide variety of realms, these 3 little mini games. And you can mix and match any number, not any number, but any combination of 3 realms. So when I do these live plays, I just shuffle up my big deck of cards and I reveal 3 of them and I play with that 3 for the realm. So like Nicole and Chad, I think they're playing along live here. They're using these same realms and this same dice roll, but they're probably going to use it in a completely different way than I did. So that was the 4. The 5, where do I want to use the 5? The 5 is probably not great for Libertalia. I like using some lower numbers in Libertalia. In Libertalia, what I'm doing is writing in a number to create a pirate, and the pirates over here need to be higher numbers than the ones earlier on the path. And I gain resources and benefits from doing that. Let's try rock, paper, scissors. So I'm drawing icons in both Honorim and rock, paper, scissors. I'm using the 5, which is a square. That's the paper. And then on any slot on the left, draw the icon for the use number in any slot on the left and gain the benefit. Okay, well, I could certainly use a 1. So I will draw the paper right here and gain a coin. I'll explain why I want that coin in a moment. And then draw the icon of the other rolled die, the 4, in any slot on the right. That die remains available. So that 4 is also a paper, and I need to put that somewhere else. And I want to put it in a place where scissors beats paper. So there's some place that I'll put a 6 later on. I'm not very good at this strategy in rock, paper, scissors. I will put it here. Put it right there. Now I have a coin. You can turn a coin into a number equal to the number of coins that you spend. So I have 1 coin. I will turn it into a 1 value number, 1 value die, essentially. I can't use it here. I can't use it here. I can use it in the one realm that I haven't used yet. And I will put it, I like the 16 here. So I'll put it there, put it 1 there to make that a 16. This must sound like nonsense if you haven't played Rolling Realms, because it's so specific to each realm's rules. I see in the comments, here's a 2 and a 6, that Chad has been on a Stonemaier solo games run, Vantage, Wormspin, Finspin, Viticulture, Expeditions, and Tapestry. All great solo experiences. Let's hear it for Automa Factory. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate that. And I will say, I'll just throw in, a little not well. Vantage doesn't. It does have a sneaky solo mode at a certain point, but in Vantage, I designed the way that Vantage works doesn't really need a solo mode. You just play. You scale some other ways, but I designed 1 through 6 players in Vantage. Unlike most of our other games where the solo Automa Factory designs a solo mode. Edward says, I love that our games come with Automa and you can play solo because you can't always find people to play with. And sometimes it's just fun to play a game as a puzzle solo. We do play digital games like that all the time, right? Why not tabletop games? And it's fun to learn that way, as Edward says. Garrett says, I'm trying to imagine how complex a Cones of Dunshire realm would be. It would be nonsensical, I bet. 2 and a 6. Okay, let's get back to playing here for a second. 2 and a 6. Think adjacent symbols must differ. So I'll use a 2 here. Draw a circle. I get a star from that. Yeah, the points in this game are stars. So here's a star. Although I do like 2s in Libertalia as well. And then the 6. Yeah, in fact, I'm inclined to use the 6 here. I think that's actually better. That's okay. No, it's not okay. I'm going to take it back. Dry erase for the win here. I'm going to use the 6 as a key and the 2 over in Libertalia because I know this is going to be a 2. Yeah, I know this will be a 2. And I don't have any other numbers I can create for rock, paper, scissors. So that ends that turn. Lori has some hearts around Vantage here. An April Fool's realm for Cones of Dunshire. I like that a lot. In fact, yeah, 2 and a 4. I need to do something special, I figure, for game 90. 2 and a 4. Well, okay. 4... I could use either of them here in Honor Room, and I'll get a bunch of resources. Maybe I'll do that first. I'll use the 2 as a circle. I mean, the crescent's more rare. So why don't I use the 4? I'll use the 4. As long as adjacent symbols are different. Get to mark off that door and get 1 of each resource. That's the 4. The 2... Libertalia, I could do 32. I kind of like that. 32, then 34 later on. So I'll put the 2 here to get 2 hearts. And now I have a coin. So I can use a coin as paper. I'm sorry, a coin as rock. And I think I'll get another coin out of it. I'll put the rock right here to get a coin. And then I need to use the other rolled die. The 4 is paper. I need to pit paper against rock somewhere. So I'll put the paper. Oh, no, the opposite. I need to put scissors against paper. I'll put another paper here. Okay, turn 4. Edward says, I strongly suggest Wingspan, Finspan, and Wormspan. The whole span series for Edward. Start with Finspan. Then work up to Wingspan, then Wormspan. Yeah, I agree. Chad says Jamey could be the architect for Cones of Dunshire. I once at Gen Con, the last time I think I attended Gen Con, I watched people, a big group of, like an official game of Cones of Dunshire, played for an audience, and we watched for like an hour as they tried. And this was a group that was prepared to play Cones of Dunshire. They tried to play it, and they barely got through anything. I don't even know if they took a turn an hour into it, and we headed off and had dinner at that point. But it was pretty comical. 4 and a 5. So eventually I need to get some 6s to cut this paper. We'll work on that someday, not today. 4 and a 5. Oh, I don't have a crescent moon, but I do have a coin I could use. Why don't I do that? I'll use a coin as a circle right here to keep moving up that track. Guess I could have done a key as well. And I still have the 4 and the 5 to use. This could be a 44. That could be a 34. I like 42 here, but I need a coin. This could be any number. Either one could go over here. And either one could go here. So I have 2 freebies. Well, either one will go over here. I will use it as a paper. I need a paper to beat a rock. So I need to draw a rock at some point. I'll get my last coin. And then I need to use the other number, which is also another paper. I have so much paper over here. You know, I'll just keep going for the pumpkins. I don't really need the pumpkins yet. And then the other number, I do have the coin now. Maybe I'll get this one over with and go for a 42. That gives me a star. It costs me a coin and a pumpkin. Chad wants to be the Maverick in Cones of Dunshire. You all have a good memory about the different characters in Cones of Dunshire. I haven't seen Parks and Rec in a long time. We are enjoying, I'll give a shout out to a show that feels a little bit like Parks and Rec, Animal Control. It's split between Netflix and Disney Plus here in the US at least, and we're really enjoying it. We're in the most current season 4, which is currently airing, but we really enjoy that. Animal Control. A 3 and a 5. I did want a 3 here, but it cost me 2 coins. So this is like my last play, ideally. And I can use either of those here. 3 and a 5. I could use either of them here. And what was I waiting for? A 3 would be lovely. Paper beats scissors, or a rock beats scissors. So I could use the 3 as a rock. I don't want to put it next to paper. This paper will win. I will put it down here to get a heart. And then I need to use the 5 as another paper. I need so many scissors. This is going to end poorly. Put that right here. In honor him, I've already used the 3. I need to use a 5. I'll put that key, although if I do this, I don't have anything for Libertalia, which is problematic. That's okay. That's another star. Closer to getting some resources. And I think I need to copy one of these numbers for Libertalia. I don't love this use of resources, but I don't want to fall behind here. So I'll copy either one. I don't want it to be the 3. It's going to be here or here just to get a resource. You know, I'll get the star while I can. So this will be a 65. That way a 6 could go there if needed. Joel McHale is in Animal Control. Yeah, and he was in Community as well. Yeah, he's very funny in both. Plays a somewhat similar character in both, a little bit. There's a 6. All right, we can finally win one of these matchups in rock, paper, scissors. Here's the scissors. I will use it against a paper. I'll use it right here. And I won this matchup. Paper beats scissors. And so I get a heart. And if I won the matchup, well, I'll calculate this at the end. You want to win as many matchups as possible. Edward says, I love the arrogant style of Joel McHale and the ironic style comedy shows. Yeah. And Nicole says, I'm going to have to finish this one tomorrow. Got stuck with some serious analysis paralysis. Going to watch now. Absolutely, Nicole. I totally get that. Have fun. Lori's actually rewatching Parks and Rec right now. Such a good, feel-good show, and yet so funny. Yeah, someday I want to rewatch that one. I've used the 6 here. Oh, I need to mark the 3. I always forget to do this when I get excited in rock, paper, scissors. So I need to draw a rock somewhere. Paper beats rock. Okay. So that'll be another winning matchup. Here's a rock. Win that matchup too. Now I need to use the 3 somewhere. I could use it here. That actually seems like a pretty good place to use it. Doesn't get me a coin though, but I will have to copy a number either way. Or will I? Or will I? I don't think I do. I won't complete it, but that's okay. I'm going to put a 3 down here. It's so satisfying to complete Libertalia. It's tough to do that. I'm pushing a little bit to do that and maybe sacrificing honor him a little bit. Turn 7. A pair of 2s. A pair of 2s. Okay. Well. Okay. Okay. A pair of 2s. Well, one of them can go here for sure. And because I can easily copy these. Here's one of them. I complete this door. I get a pumpkin and 2 hearts. The other 2, oh, it doesn't go in Libertalia at all, unless I decrease it to a 1, which I might need to do. I think I will need to do that. So that'll be a 1. Use 2 pumpkins to do that. Gives me a heart. I need to get some coins somewhere. Where are all the coins? Oh, they're here. I'm not going to get those coins. I need the coins over here. The other 2, I can copy it. It's a pair, so I can use 2 hearts to copy the 2. We'll just see how it works out. It is a rock. And the other one will also be a rock. So paper beats. Okay, so one of them, paper beats rock. So one will go there. That's the other rolled die. That's a winning matchup. And then the one that I play, actually, this does work. This would win. Paper beats rock. Paper beats rock. I want rock right here to get a heart. Okay, getting a little messy here. Garrett says, for some reason, we started a rewatch of 24. Here's a 3 and a 2 on turn 8. Garrett says, it's crazy how we used to get 24 episodes of big budget shows year after year, and now we're lucky to get 8 episodes. Quite the shift. It's true. Yeah, it has changed a lot. I don't mind it for hour-long shows. I don't mind shorter seasons. I love having 20-plus episodes. I'll take as many episodes of 22-minute comedies, half-hour comedies. I'll take an unlimited number of those. Like I would just have them go on forever. And that has changed a lot too. We've seen, a lot of 10-episode seasons of those, but I wish those were longer. We just finished watching a show on Peacock called The Copenhagen Test. And while it isn't exactly 24, Garrett, if you like 24, you might like the vibes of The Copenhagen Test. And it's just 8 episodes. Oh, Edward says I can use the 6 in Libertalia next to the 1 to make it 61. Oh, you're right. Yeah, I already used that one. Yeah. And Carell mentions Hijack. I haven't watched Hijack yet, but I've heard good things about that one. Okay, 3 and a 2. I still don't have the 2 coins that I need to use here, and I need a 4, 5, or 6. I've left that completely flexible, but I don't have any coins. I need to get a coin, and I'm not. Rock paper scissors isn't doing it. Yeah, so I can't do anything in Libertalia this turn. 2 or 3. In fact, I'm going to start to fail at rock paper scissors. I'm going to start to lose these matchups. Well, if I manipulate a number, does that help? Not really. No, I need scissors. I need 6s. I might do this. A 2 and a 3. Let's use the 2. Oh, nope. I need to vary it up. I need to use a 3 as a crescent moon here. Get a star. And then I think I need to use 3 pumpkins, which allows me to change a number and reuse a realm on the 2 to turn it into, say, a 1 to draw a circle here. That'll get me closer to getting 2 pumpkins by completing this section. All right, 2 coins, because 2 coins are what I really, really need. I don't think I can do anything else. I could use 3 hearts to copy a number, but I don't know what good that would do in rock, paper, scissors. It would just have me lose some matchups if I did that. So I'm not going to do that. Coming down to the final turn. Need some 6s. A pair of 1s. And no numbers don't loop back around here. So, wow. Okay. Pair of 1s to finish off. I rolled so well in round 1 and so poorly here. This will not help me in Libertalia. It won't help me in Honorum because I need a different shape right here. And so I have to use them here where I don't want rocks. Oh, no. All right, folks. This is going to go downhill right now. Here's I'll do a tie. I'll do a tied matchup here at least. And the other resource I'll get will be a pumpkin. So I only win 3 matchups. I do get a lowly 2 stars here. Sorry about that. Anyone playing along? Chad says, you forgot the main focus of the game. It's about the cones. It is. It is all about the cones. Oh, Jen is here too. Jen, I agree that it was when I wanted 2 6s or something close to a 6, I rolled 2 1s. I can use them here. I am not allowed to use a 1 here. And so that actually lets me use, and I can't use a 1 here either. I can't pay for it. And I'm not allowed to do it. So at least for the second one, I get to just generate a resource. I don't know. I don't think any of them can even help me at this point. So I will just generate a heart and count up what I have. This is a very low score. This is an 8.6. 8.6. Hopefully someone did better than I did and considered the cones, as we were saying today. Thank you all for joining me for the longer than normal live play. This was fun. I had fun playing along, and I will be back tomorrow, hopefully at the right time, 3 o'clock St. Louis time for round 3. And yeah, this was fun. I really appreciate you hanging out. Jen says, my Redux box arrived this week. Super excited to play all the newer content. Awesome. Yeah, you have, if you want to, you can go back and watch previous games with me. There's at least a few games when Redux came out where that's all I used for a few rounds or a few games. Now they're all mixed in with all the other cards. But yeah, I hope you have fun with that. Chad, Lori, Jen, who else is here? Edward hung out today. Corell, Garrett, Lori. I'm missing someone. Nicole was here earlier too. Thank you all for hanging out. I really appreciate that. I hope you have fun. And maybe I'll see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock for 10 to 15 minutes. It won't take 35 minutes like it did today. Take care. Bye.